Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gerson Ribeiro, and this is my review for the movie Fantastic Four: The First Steps. In this movie, I'm going to talk about the movie Fantastic Four: The First Steps and give the pros and the cons and whether or not the movie is worth watching. So let's begin. My first pro is the fact that every actor in the main cast did an amazing job portraying the Fantastic Four. If you're a fan of the comics, you watch this movie and you're going to actually think they just took the characters right out of the pages and put it in the screen. Everybody did an amazing job, especially the actor who plays Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. I like the way he was portrayed in the original movies, but one thing that they forgot to do it is show how smart Johnny actually is in the movies. Because in the comics, he's the devil may care and womanizer that he was portrayed in the original movies, but everybody forgot to mention how smart they actually is. And this movie actually shows that. They go as far as to show Johnny actually translating an alien language and learning how to communicate with the Silver Surfer in a few days. I mean, who actually can do that, right? He's a regular human being, he doesn't have super smartness, but he actually managed to learn an alien language in about a week. That's how smart he is in the movie. Everybody else did an amazing job. Pedro Pascal was amazing as Reed Richards. You actually believe he is a genius who's struggling with a huge problem. And Vanessa Kirby did an amazing job as the Invisible Woman. You can see the weight she's carrying in this movie, having to juggle her superhero life and the responsibility she has to protect her new baby, Franklin, which is one of the points in the movie that I'm going to mention later. My second pro in the movie is the aesthetic. The aesthetic of this movie is based on what is called a Googie aesthetic, which was used mostly in California in the 1950s. And that's what this movie decided to adopt. When you go to the movies to watch the Fantastic Four, you actually think you're watching one of those old school science fiction movies from the 50s, with the flying cars, the new design of the buildings. That's the kind of vibe the aesthetic gives. And I think it's amazing because that actually pays a huge homage to the fact that the Fantastic Four actually started in the 60s. And since this is an alternate universe, it makes a lot of sense. So that was another huge, amazing point for the movie. My third pro is the fact that both villains were fantastic, no pun intended. Everybody's still a little traumatized because of Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, due to the fact that Fox actually made Galactus a cloud. Like, why would they do that? They know that anyone who goes to watch the movies is basically a fan of the comics. And if you have two great characters like Galactus and the Silver Surfer, just take them out of the screen and put in a movie, right? I don't know why Fox didn't do that. They decided to make Galactus a cloud. Like, that was one of the stupidest ideas I've ever seen in a superhero movie. And I've seen Batman and Robin a few times. This movie more than corrected that. Even though they didn't use Norrin Red for the movie, they used Shala Ball, the female Silver Surfer. I think they actually did an amazing job because we already saw Norrin Red before and he was actually pretty good. So it was time to give us something different, right? And the movie still has the excuse that it's not set in the main MCU timeline, the Universe 616. I think it's supposed to be on Universe A31 or something like that. So Shala Ball did an amazing job, and she actually had great chemistry with Johnny. They don't go out so far as to make them a couple, but they show that there's kind of a few things going on between them. That was actually a funny point. And the MVP in the villain department was definitely Galactus. Like, I don't remember seeing a villain as scary as he was ever since Thanos showed up, because not only his voice was like dark and deep, but you can actually feel the threat that he poses out of the entire world. You can actually be scared that the Fantastic Four might not be able to defeat him this time. The fact that he was actually played by an actor and they actually use his real form was a huge plus for the movie because the actor who portrayed him also did an amazing job. My final pro on the pro section is the fact that the pacing is amazing. Like in the Marvel movies, sometimes they drag the scenes a little bit too long, so we run out of things to do. We just watch characters interact or something like that. In this movie, no. We go from the action scenes to important things like how they're discussing their plans or what to do, then to another action scenes. Like it doesn't leave a lot of room, for fill up scenes, and all the dialogue scenes we have like are basically interactions among the team, and these are scenes that are actually necessary. But this movie has a lot of action, especially like out of all the Fantastic Four movies, this was the one with the most action I remember seeing. So you don't actually feel like watching a long movie, which this movie is not. It's about an hour and 59 minutes, and you do not feel the time going by. So, for those of you that don't like movies with slow pacing, this is a huge plus in this one. Now, jumping to the cons list, this movie doesn't have a lot of things that bug me, but the ones that do are a bit of a, to me, they're kind of a huge problem, but it's a matter of opinion, so those of you that watch the movie might not agree. My first con is the fact that, just like I mentioned before, this movie is about an hour and 59 minutes. And for a superhero movie, especially a Marvel movie, I think it was a little bit too short. Like, this movie juggles a lot of characters, not just the Fantastic Four, but two villains that have a lot of screen time. So, this movie could have profited for about another half an hour. This should have been a solid 2 hour and 30 minutes movie, and it wouldn't be a problem because it feels like some of the arcs in this movie didn't get solved very much. Like, for example, the Thing, Ben Grimm, he has a love interest in the movie, but he doesn't spend a lot of time with her because they have to keep moving back to the main story arc. Same thing with Johnny and Shalabal, the female Silver Surfer. The movie tried to give them a romantic arc, but I feel like it was cut too much because of the time. They have to keep going straight to the main story. So I feel like another half an hour or 35 minutes would have been very good for the movie. My second con is the fact that, and Marvel has been doing this a lot, especially with Avengers Infinity War, is giving us scenes in the trailer that they don't actually put in the movie. I remember when for the first trailer dropped, we saw an image of John Malkovich in an underground place. So everybody was super excited by having him in the Marvel movie because for those of you that don't remember, he was supposed to play the Vulture in I believe it's the fourth Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. And he looks exactly like the Vulture from the comics, so he would have been great. So when we saw him in the trailer for this movie, everybody kept speculating who is he going to be, right? Like, is he going to be Franklin Richards from the future? Is he going to be a villain? Is he going to be Doctor Doom servant? What's he gonna do, right? And then when you go watch the movie and you're waiting for him to show up, he doesn't show up. They actually went out and cut his scenes. He was supposed to play a villain. I forgot the villain's name. He's one of the more obscure ones that uses some huge, like intelligent gorillas to invade the city. And I don't know why they actually decided to cut his character. Like, why would you hire John Malkovich, an amazing actor who played fantastic villains? That's basically his specialty. Like, if you want a scary and charismatic villain in your movie, you hire John Malkovich. You're going to pay him what I assume is at least $1 million, not show up in the movie, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you do that? Which is why I mentioned the problem with why this movie should have used another 35 minutes. This is one of the reasons why. We could have seen John Malkovich in the movie, and it would have been great. I mean, they went as far as to put Mole Man, one of the more obscure Fantastic Four villains in the movie, and they actually gave him something to do, like to the between the second and third act. So Why not give John Malkovich a role like this? That was really, really stupid. My third con, and it's not exactly a con, it's just a matter of opinion. I don't think that the Thing struggles too much with his appearance. Like, for those of us that are fans of Ben Grimm, we know that one of the biggest problems he has in the comics is the fact that he struggles a lot. Not only he struggles with his appearance, but a lot of the people still afraid of him just because he looks like a rock, right? I mean, the guy is one of the greatest heroes in the Marvel universe, but everybody's scared of him. Not in this movie. In this movie, all four of them are huge celebrities. So much so that the Thing got stopped in the streets and like all the kids come to him and say, "Oh, smash this car, do this and do that," and everybody absolutely loves him. The only small struggle he has in this movie is with his love interest. Like, he's a little bit shy, he's kind of scared to talk to her, and the movie doesn't specify that it's about his appearance. It implies a little bit, but doesn't specify very much. So, this movie could have done this, and I think it would have been a little bit better. Like, especially for those of us that are fans of the Thing, this is something at least I wanted in the movie. The fourth and last con, to me, is the fact that, and if you haven't seen the movie, consider this a bit of a spoiler. The fact that they win at the end and they don't switch universes. Let me explain why. At the end of Thunderbolts, in the post-credit scene, we actually see the Fantastic Four ship is coming to Earth 616, right? So that led us to believe that they were going to lose the battle to Galactus, their world would be lost, and they'll have to switch universes and make the main universe, the main Marvel universe, their home. But no, they actually defeat Galactus at the end of the movie, and I kind of felt like that was a cop-out because imagine how awesome and dark would have been if the Fantastic Four actually lost the battle to Galactus, their world was lost, they had to switch universes, and maybe in an Avengers movie or in the next Fantastic Four movie was the rematch, and they not only were trying to save their new home but trying to avenge the last one. I think that would have been amazing, right? Another problem with the fact that they win at the end is that it doesn't specify how are they going to be the Fantastic Four of the main Marvel timeline because the movie the whole point of this movie was to introduce the Fantastic Four to the Marvel Universe. And that was one of the problems I actually had with Deadpool in Deadpool and Wolverine because the movie promised to bring Deadpool into the main Marvel Universe, but he stayed in the Fox Universe at the end. So I believe that was a bit of a cop out as well. So that's it, everybody. These are my pros and cons of the movie Fantastic Four, the first steps. And if I had to give a grade to this movie, even with the cons, I'll give it a very solid 10. That was an amazing movie and definitely worth watching. So I see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.